So exactly what you just got through saying. You have to know the canon, so to speak. But it's up to you to extend it. What is the next thing? In the 20th century, for instance, various music forms. There's a musical vocabulary that was created by African Americans. Spirituals, blues, jazz, gospel, soul, rock and roll, American rock and says, which is a bad imitation of R&B. But hip hop, you know, that vocabulary, and if you look through it, you will see how one influences the other, you know, through the 20th century. But you have to know that. So if somebody says, you know, do you know this music? And you say, yeah, Swiss Beats did that. Swiss Beats sampled it.
Right.
Where did it come from?
Right.
You know, where did it come from and why was it compelling to them? One of the things that you said that I think is important is how we define beauty. And not just the physical form, but something deeper than that shows up in the art. And I think one of the most powerful things about the work of urban bush women is that it has constantly challenged people about what beauty is in dance, in art, in black women, in black people, in African people worldwide. There's this ongoing conversation that forces us to think about and to challenge ourselves and to define for ourselves what is beauty.
Well, I'd like to believe the mythology that we are in a post-racial world. I'd like to believe that mythology, and it is nothing but mythology. How I am interested in human beings, people, and I'm particularly interested in people who have not been uplifted. And so I have learned, and I had to teach myself to see beauty in ways that I was not taught to see beauty growing up. So growing up, you know, I have, and I still see the manifestations of what I would say internalized racial inferiority and its complement, internalized racial superiority by whites, internalized inferiority by racial inferiority by blacks. I still see that at play. That's the play. And what that does is that takes away our humanity for both. So if you're carrying around this idea that you are superior, and it's in all of your actions, you are also losing a part of your humanity. So addressing racism is not about black people addressing racism. It's about what it is doing to us as human beings. What is the cost to us as human beings when we are all carrying around something that is based on a specious notion of race that has been held up as a standard, and the standards of beauty have been all dictated by that. And so now what's challenging us, and you know, within that, and this is something that Urban Bush Women has embraced, is the gender identity. That is now being questioned, and people are offering concepts of gender that certainly were not, if they were around in my generation, you'd just like, we'll talk about that over there, or it was like one or the other. And people are challenging that now. And that challenges me to say, okay, what's going on? And so one of the things that, because I was disturbed by how our leadership team was dealing with young people who were asking to be referred to in ways that I was not used to in terms of their gender. So one of the young women who is our director of education developed a workshop, LGBTQA 101. And it was as much for our leadership team because we were being stuck in what we saw beauty. And we saw beauty in this like girl, boy. And if it wasn't, and if we couldn't put it right in there, then it was like, so for me, that's a trigger for me to pay attention when beauty is defined in one way and only one way. I have to question it. I have to struggle with it. It's a lot of things I have to struggle with, you know, in that construct. But just because I have to struggle with it doesn't mean that I'm not willing to go in and do the work. So for me, when people see, you know, what the notions of beauty in dance, is it a large woman? Is it a small woman? Is it a tall woman? Is it a short woman? You know, I want to push that, and I want us to all have to think, because I think it was Frederick Douglass, and I'm often quoting the wrong person, but I think he said, if there is no struggle, there is no progress,
Yes.
something like that. So it is the struggle, the discomfort, that growing edge, that is the place where we move forward. If we're always comfortable in a place that everything is just easy, it's not a place of growth. How many of you out here are dancers, right? Okay, so you know, I'm going to get up and do this demonstration. So if this is your habit, right? If that's your habit, that's comfortable, right? And so then the teacher is asking you to find alignment. It's uncomfortable, and you feel like you feel weird. You don't know where you are. So then you keep, well, okay, I'm going to go back to it, because that feels right for me, right? That feels right, but I'm shortening my lower spine, I'm doing hard. So, but if I keep going back to that, because that feels right, and I don't go to the place of discomfort to make change, then I never grow. So I just do the same habits every day in dance class, right? Every day, and I think I'm working, but in fact, I'm doing the things that make me feel comfortable. Growth is getting into that area of discomfort in order to make change. And it feels a little destabilized. I know when I was, because I had this habit of hearing this felt right to me, and learning where center is destabilizing. We got to live in that place for a little bit in order to find change. So I encourage all you dancers and everyone that when you're getting that feedback or that information, and it's coming in a way that, you know, it's not making sense, ask the teacher. For me, I know because of the cultural prejudices, when the teacher was telling me to try to find my placement, I was like, I got a big butt. That's what they're dissing me because of my butt. They don't understand. And because of the way the information was coming to me, which was judgments about my butt, I couldn't hear about the alignment. Because I heard the judgment. And believe me, the judgment was there. So you want to find the places where that judgment isn't there, and you can find that alignment, the center, because that's going to make you stronger. But to get there is going to be uncomfortable. That's the only way the growth will occur.
That was beautiful. We're at church, you can say something. One of the things that I like about creative life and the creative process is that it starts with an idea. It's a blank stage, a blank screen, a blank piece of paper, but it's something in your head. And to take it from there to an auditorium full of people and lights and motion and sound and a show is a very long distance. And it takes a lot of will and focus and discipline. But I think it's also what you're talking about in terms of that comfort zone of stepping beyond, because I hear a lot of young artists say, you know, I have this, I'm a writer. And I say, okay, well, what have you written? Well, I haven't really written anything yet. I have some notes. You have ideas and notes. Okay, those are steps. But you have to keep pushing past that. And I think one of the things about folks who have been oppressed and disenfranchised and a sort of directed psychological and physical violence at them is how do you tell your story and reveal not just your humanity, but all humanity.